Now to a game that captures the imagination of the football fans all over the world, El Clásico.
Real Madrid and Barcelona were level on points and unbeaten going into yesterday's La Liga showdown, and it was the European champions who emerged victorious. They are now 3 points clear of Barcelona at the top of the table.
Yes, and to talk us through all the reaction is Spanish football expert Semra Hunter. Semra, good morning to you. So good to see you. Real Madrid stay unbeaten this season. What would you say the gap is in quality between those two sides?
I'm not so sure if it's as much a gap in quality as it is in maturity. And I think that's something that Xavi talked about at the end of the game. He said that Real Madrid are more mature. They know how to compete at this level, and they know how to win games, and they know what it takes to win games at certain moments. And I think that's really true because Barcelona didn't play badly in the first half. What the problem is for them is right now they really don't dominate games at opposite ends of the pitch. So they're not scoring, even though they're creating some chances, mostly half chances, and they're not defending well at all. And that's the thing. Real Madrid knew that they would have those opportunities. They had to be patient. And I don't think they ever really broke a sweat to actually get the job done against Barcelona. And I think also another thing is that mentally, Barca are just not sharp right now. They took a really big blow in the Champions League midweek, and I think that really affected them morally as well and emotionally going into this game. Apart from that, I think Xavi didn't get his tactics right whenever he set the team up. I think seeing Sergi Roberto at right back again, having Balde at left back, you could have put him on the right. Maybe he should have taken out Busquets, even though he put in Frenkie de Jong, but I would have kept in Gavi. I think that he didn't necessarily learn the lessons from what happened against Inter Milan, and you just knew when you saw Sergi Roberto, nothing against him, but he was going to be up the pitch, he was going to leave so much space in behind him, and you would get that classic textbook counter-attack from Vinicius Jr. from Real Madrid, and that's exactly what happened in the first goal. So obviously, I think there is a gulf in terms of knowing how to compete at this level in these types of games. But again, we have to reiterate that Barcelona have had some serious injuries, and they really were affected by the international break. It completely destroyed the momentum that they had before that, and they were playing some pretty good football at that stage. But it is a work in progress, and it will be for quite some time. But in any case, Real Madrid are flying, as you say, undefeated in all competitions, and they're performing really well.
So potentially a few mistakes there by Xavi. How much pressure is he under?
I think he's under a bit of pressure. I think he was already under pressure to begin with. He knows what a Clásico means and the kind of effect it can have on a manager, because we've seen time and time again when you lose, you often lose your job. But I don't think that'll be the case of Xavi right now. Laporta said in the lead up to this game that he was going to be back, that he was going to be supported, that they were going to be looking to bring in some players in January. Perhaps they'll be looking to move some players out as well. So there is still work to be done in the squad in terms of this long-term project that they're aiming to put together. And they feel that Xavi is the right man for the job. So right now they're asking for patience. It's true that some of the fans are not very happy. The Catalan media is not very happy. They're not necessarily singling Xavi out at the moment, but some of the fans are, which is the first time we've seen it since Xavi has taken over. So no doubt he'll be feeling pressure. I think some of it he probably puts on himself because he wants to do a good job and he wants to bring his beloved club back to the elite level. But I don't think we're quite yet in any kind of situation where we're seeing alarm bells in terms of his position being at stake. I think there's still quite some time to go before something like that would happen.
Well, let's turn attention to an ex-Barcelona player, Neymar, who's set to go on trial today, charged with fraud and corruption. Semra, how has this situation come about?
Okay, well, I'll try to keep this as short as possible because it's quite complex. But basically, back in 2013, whenever he signed for FC Barcelona, he was there was a company called DIS in Brazil, which owns part of his players' rights, 40% at the time. And they are alleging that there was corruption and fraud in the transfer deal, that basically Neymar, his family, Barcelona and Santos' club at the time in Brazil colluded to hide the actual fee of the transfer. Barcelona claimed it was 57 million euros, but they're claiming that it was something more than that, around 80 million euros. And so basically they were not given the fair share of the cut that they were due. That's what they are alleging. So beyond that, the Spanish prosecution has decided to build a case as well. What they're asking for is 2 years of prison for Neymar plus 10 million euros as a fine. They're also asking for prison sentences for his parents, as well as Sandro Rosé, Josep Maria Bartomeu, the two former Barcelona presidents and vice presidents at the time. There are also other people that are involved, like the ex-Santos president, who's going to be going to trial as well in this case. And DIS, however, are asking for something a bit heftier than that. They're asking for 5-year prison sentences for Neymar, the inability for him to play football during that time, and overall they're asking for indemnisation of about 150 million euros. So it's expected to start today. Perhaps Neymar will turn up. We don't know if he will or not. He's expected to stand trial on the 21st, which is this Friday. Florentino Perez is going to testify as well tomorrow, reportedly, allegedly, about a secret contract between Barcelona and Neymar and his family that took place in 2011, which meant that it affected the transfer value and his fee, and that he was no longer allowed to necessarily talk to any other clubs, and that he would have to sign with Barcelona. So there's a lot of moving parts in this case. It's interesting to see what will happen. It should end on October 31st. But in any case, very tricky times for Neymar, his family, and those that were at the club before.